Ford versus Ferrari. This is a story about Ford Motor Company that how they designed a car which defeated Ferrari in a race. And not just a car. This is the story of the racer who did this amazing job. Hello everybody, and today's story is Ford versus Ferrari. This is a story of 1963. This is the time when Ford's car sales are falling day by day. In simple words, Ford makes 100 cars a day, but only 20 or 25 of them are sold. Seeing this problem, Henry Ford, the owner of Ford, stopped the production of his cars and told all the employees that if this continues, our company will soon go bankrupt and our factories will be shut down. So if you all want to keep your jobs, then bring me an idea so that I can bring the falling sales up again. And if you don't have any idea, then you are not even worth working in Ford. Now, to save his job, the company's vice president, whose name is Lee, gives a suggestion to Henry Ford. He tells him that if we want to increase the sales of our cars, then we have to think like Ferrari, not Ford. In today's time, Ferrari participates in various racing competitions and wins them. And whoever buys Ferrari's cars considers himself a part of that victory. Lee says that if we put Ford's cars in the race and win the competition, then Ford will become a new identity among people, and today's young generation will buy our cars. But here, the company's president does not like Lee's idea, and he says that it will take another 10 years to make a team like Ferrari. On this, Lee tells everyone that the Ferrari car company has gone completely bankrupt, and if Henry Ford wants, then he can buy the Ferrari car company. Now, Henry Ford liked Lee's idea, and to finalize this deal, he sent his team to Italy. Ford's team reached Italy and met Enzo Ferrari, the owner of Ferrari. Here, Lee told Enzo Ferrari that our boss, Mr. Henry Ford, wants to buy 90% of your company's shares. If you agree to this deal, then Ford will have control over Ferrari and your company will do what our boss wants. Everything was going well until now, but then Lee said something that ruined the whole thing. Lee says that according to the deal, Ford will have control over Ferrari's racing team, and Ford will decide whether Ferrari will participate in the Le Mans race every year or not. Le Mans race is a special racing competition that runs continuously for 24 hours. In simple words, Le Mans race is the World Cup of car racing, and Ferrari is the champion of this World Cup. Now, when Enzo Ferrari hears that he is not allowed to participate in Le Mans, his anger goes to the seventh heaven. He tells Ford's team that you go back to your ugly factories and make your ugly cars, and tell your fat boss Henry Ford that his brain is no less than a pig and he can never be as great as his father. Now, after so much humiliation, Ford's team returns to their country and tells Henry Ford everything. Hearing all this, Henry Ford gets very angry and he decides that now Ford will also compete in the Le Mans race and will avenge his humiliation. In the next scene, we see a man who is sitting in the doctor's clinic. Now, before moving ahead in the story, know a little about this man. His name is Carroll Shelby, who used to be a car racer. In the whole of America, Shelby is the only person who has won the 24-hour Le Mans race. For now, Shelby has come to the doctor for his checkup because he has a heart disease and he can't do anything to increase his heart rate. Because of his disease, Shelby has said goodbye to racing years ago, and now he is the owner of a car company named Shelby Americans. This company designs sports cars and also organizes small racing competitions. After this, we see our Sigma male, whose name is Ken Miles. He is a retired army officer, a mechanical engineer, and a car racer. Ken has a younger son and a wife. He runs a garage where he repairs and modifies cars. Now, know these two things about Ken. First, Ken is very fond of car racing, or you can say that car racing is the life of Ken Miles. And the second thing is that he is a little angry and rude, but he has a good heart. After this, we see Lee, who comes to meet Carroll Shelby. He tells Shelby that now Ford is also going to participate in the Le Mans race, and the company's owners want you to drive our cars in this race because you are the only racer in the whole of America who has won the Le Mans race. Here, Shelby tells Lee that he has said goodbye to racing years ago. He tells Lee that winning the Le Mans race is not a child's play. For this, they would need a car that is not only fast but also light and which has the ability to run continuously for 24 hours. Lee tells Shelby that the owners of Ford want to win this race at any cost, even if they have to spend a lot of money. Shelby says that he will design a racing car for Ford, but he will not drive it because he has a heart problem. But to do this, he has a racer who has never lost a race in his life, and this racer was none other than Ken Miles. Actually, Ken and Shelby are old friends because they used to race together, and now there is no one better than Ken Miles for this job. After this, Shelby meets Ken and tells him about Ford's Le Mans project. He tells him that in 90 days, we have to design a car that can beat Ford or Ferrari. First, Ken refuses to do this because he believes that Ford's employees are a number of selfish people who are just trying to please their bosses and they will never let them work as they wish. But when Shelby tells him that he will get $200 a day for this, Ken agrees for it. Actually, his financial condition is not going well and his garage is also locked because he did not pay the bank's EMI on time. To run his house, Ken left racing, which was dearest to him than his life. So when Shelby offers him this job, he agrees for it. The next day, Shelby and Ken reach the Los Angeles airport, and here Ken tests Ford's new car GT40. After a little testing, Ken sees a lot of shortcomings in this car. He tells Shelby that this car does not have as much power as a race car. Moreover, this car is so heavy that as soon as it touches 200, the driver drives this car and not this one. Days passed by, and with the help of Ken, Shelby's team removed a lot of shortcomings. Ken was constantly testing this car, and this car was also getting better day by day. To increase the power of the car, he put a new engine in it, and to reduce the weight, he made many parts of the car aluminium. Now one day, the company's president Lee also comes to see this car. He was very happy to see the performance of the car, but he had no special attachment to Ken. So he comes to Shelby and tells her that in the upcoming Le Mans race, Ken will not drive Ford's cars because he is not a Ford-type driver. He has a lot of anger in him and he has no control over his tongue. If he says anything wrong in the future, the company's reputation will be ruined. On this, Shelby tells him that Ken has worked very hard to make this car and there is no better person for this job. Shelby says that driving a racing car is not a child's play and only those who understand the car can do it. But Lee doesn't pay much attention to what Shelby says and leaves after giving his orders. Here, when Shelby tells Ken that the company will not include him in this race, he feels very bad. He made this car race-worthy by working day and night, and now he will not participate in this race. Although Ken feels very bad about Ford's decision, but still he doesn't get angry at Shelby. Before leaving, he tells Shelby to tell his drivers to take care of the gearbox of the car and keep the speed a little low during the day so that the engine doesn't overheat. The next day, the race starts, and Ken starts listening to the commentary of the Le Mans race on the radio. Ford had dropped 3 of his cars in this race. Now, for the first few hours, the cars performed well, but then what Ken said happened. The gearboxes of the cars were jammed and their engines also overheated. And in the next few hours, all 3 cars of Ford were out of the race. After losing the race, Henry Ford called Shelby to his office and told him to give me a reason why I should not remove you and the rest of the people from this company. On this, Shelby tells him that although we have lost this race, but it is the first time in the history of Le Mans that a car has touched the speed of 320 kmph, and that car was Ford's, and it is enough to instill fear in Enzo Ferrari's heart. Enzo Ferrari now knows that until Ford wins Le Mans, he will not sit quietly. Now, after hearing these words of Shelby, Henry Ford also agrees and decides to give Shelby another chance. After this, Shelby comes to Ken's house and asks him to work together again. But now, Shelby says something else. That's when Ken punches him and a friendly war begins between the two. These two keep fighting for a long time and get tired and lie down there. Here, Shelby convinces him to work together, and the next day, Ken and Shelby both get busy with their work. Ken spends many hours of the day testing the car and tries to make it as fast and light as possible. Although he had changed the engine of the car, but the weight of the car was still very heavy, which was stopping the car from going at top speed. In addition, the brakes of the car were not so advanced that they could bear the braking done at 320 kmph. Here, Shelby's team pays attention to everything Ken says, and according to him, they are busy making the car better. One night, Shelby gets a call from Lee and he tells him that Henry Ford has made Leo the head of the racing department, and tomorrow Leo is coming to see the car with Henry Ford. He says that Leo doesn't like Ken at all and he can go to any extent to get him out of the team. The next day, Henry Ford comes to see his race car. Shelby welcomes him and tells him about the car. That's when Leo tells Shelby that I want to talk to you alone. Shelby agrees to this and comes to his cabin with Leo. But before Leo says anything, Shelby locks him in the cabin and goes away. He comes to Henry Ford and takes him for a test drive. He drives the car at full speed.